like instrument that we'll be trading. We'll do. Well, we're gonna actually just. I know it's not like a proper stress test, like a proper stress test on a. Let me just turn this down, otherwise you won't be able to hear. By the way, that type of music is sick for like workouts and stuff, especially if like you're productive, like in cardio or something, like you're doing research or something, instead of listening to something kind of crazy, you know. And something kind of crazy for me is like alpha or something like how would, like, you know, like reggaeton or something, like, yeah. Anyway, so a proper stress test would be like going over, you know, probably doing something like this. So just, well, a proper stress test on a system, basically what you're doing is you're testing like how the criteria like performs on an array of markets, very random markets, like the Nifty, you know, the Indian stock market index, in a random time over like a 6 years period, right? And basically, what the aim or mission or goal of doing that. Let me just put do not disturb on. Is to basically see that whatever criteria in the form of the price action that you're waiting for to arise, which is directly derived from a specific sort of interaction that goes on with the best bid and offered contracts at a particular price region, ensures that a particular sort of interest is present at a particular region with X underlying products market prices, aka the best bid and offer, where people can buy and sell the underlying product. That don't get strayed away from those simple, crucial, must know terms in past times, and how subsequently after market participants have shown interest at that region that the market sat at and went on to trade it. So you could do like, and you meant to do it over like a big bunch of assets. So like, you know, you could do US stock indices, you could do metals, you could do crypto even, and then you could do maybe even stocks like from different countries, like commodities such as like natural gas and stuff. But what I had in mind to do a random month on was gasoline. Now you might be thinking, why on earth would you look at gasoline? Well, because it's a complete random instrument, which, you know, like whatever trading is going on is based on intent, right? So like you can always refer to it as as intent. That intent may not be stemmed from speculative purposes, right? It might be stemming from like some sort of agenda that an airline company has to fulfill, but their intent is still behind whatever motive, you know, they have, or agenda, sorry, to sell the underlying product, you know, or buy the underlying product. In this case, gasoline at the particular price region that is sat at on this particular occasion. Like, how are they willing to deal with X underlying products market? Let me just get it up. This is the market, like literally right now, at this region, you know. But obviously we don't know that. But after the fact, we can see, for example, relative to what 4 hour, in this case, time intervals, how, for example, this region of prices that like that the market spanned over from the open of this current time period, like around this region, which is like relative to the 4 hour bar, right? How it's likely to be tracked. And as you can see, you know, within this region over the next couple of bars, the market was primarily traded to the downside based on this recent bar close. That's why I always go on about recent bar close analysis. But anyway, you get the gist. This hasn't got anything to do with my standard strategy, as I refer to it as. Also a touching base on that. What's also very, very cool is that like this system that I'm about to stress test in a random point, let's just do 2019, April, and we'll just go from there. So this is going to be pretty crazy. And what I have noticed is that like this top down, the standard strat, you know, that I've never honestly seen anything compared to like this criteria performance on such a vast array of markets. It's honestly insane. You know, like with the top-down analysis thing, you would think you'd kind of get more or less the same results too on the markets, but it's not the case. But on euro, pound, I would also say NZD, USD, and Orden USD, they are also fine to do it on. Also, the 6S would be okay to do it on too, but not USD CHF. I know you could just kind of do the opposite, but like honestly, I just hate USD pairs. They're awful. Probably fine with this approach, but like yeah, you get the gist. For example, standard strat wouldn't have as much of a performance as it does on the euro and the pound as if it were implemented on RB, for example. Now, I was aware of gasoline because I used to watch it on Bookmap ages ago, and the only reason I had Bookmap was to learn how the price actually moved. Okay, so here looks like we've got our first setup, and what do you know? This is absolutely just crazy. Wait, hopefully this is a bearish close, because that would mean it's an opposing bar. Yeah. Okay. So we have our first setup. Now, now is the criteria valid? So it's obviously going to open. Wait. Oh shit. So EMAs are stacking. You got an opposing bar close. But yeah, as I was saying, I'll finish off before focusing on this. As TG would say, locking in. Let me log in. Yeah. Okay. Valid. Like the standard strat, which is my main system that I employ on GU and EU, which is where my main income will be derived from for sure. But hopefully too, we can also say that about another thing, and hopefully that other thing is this. Also notice I'm kind of flitting between two things here, but look, you've also got a fair value gap. I've noticed that in these valid rules, opposing bar 23, UK time that is, remember, Tyler is in his charts are in Chicago time, you know, so his is the 17 p.m. bar, which is this, and then he wants to see the 21 on the futures chart bar open beneath 75% of the opposing bar in a bull cases range, 75%, and then the next bar, aka the 21 bar, must then close green bullish, as he refers to it as, beneath prior bar high. Prior bar's high, yeah. So if this bar closed black, right? Yeah, whatever. Let's just say closed black, and then this bar closed green. It would have to close beneath the 22 or 21 candles high. Yeah. But anyway, you also notice this fair value gap here. So, and then like also like marking out the lower hand, you know, you don't really want it there. You'd probably just want it like a good little bit below, and that's also kind of covering some of this, which is good. You know, I would say that that's okay. Yeah, I would say that's okay, to be honest about there. And first trade, nice. So we'll do 5 trades, right? That's not a proper stress test, I am aware, but anyway, yeah, you get the gist. So you can also see here EMAs are stacking, but look, you're below, sorry, the 15, the 13, the 9, the 5. But yeah, anyway, finishing off what I was initially saying about my standard strat, yeah, like, you wouldn't find that you would get the same yield as you do on Euro and Pound, but that is where the bulk of my income, I do look for it to come from, but as I also did say and mention, I do want that to change too. Like, I want to also have another system which is just as good, which hopefully is this, and you know, I can do what I've been doing for the last year on the euro and pound on, for example, like if I wanted to, like futures markets, you know. Also for a little like experiment, we'll also have a look at some stocks. We'll just have a look at the main one, Tesla. I imagine because it works on NQ, it's also going to work on Tesla. So maybe we can do a random stock. Actually, I'll just do one of the ones that I've heard of and stuff. Like I've heard of people trade. So yeah. Anyway, like I said, we'll do another 4 trades. Hopefully I don't miss any. It's kind of hard to miss though, to be honest. I mean, here you wouldn't be getting involved because you would want the 100 above the 50 for sure. It's just not clean, they're not stocked. So yeah, and I have also noticed too that this system is definitely best implemented when you've got like that full-on like valid checklist, right? Where like, you know, you've got in a bearish case, as soon as we're going bearish now on gasoline, you've got an opposing bar, so a bullish close on the 23 candle, and then you open above the 75%, and then you get a bearish close out of the next 2 bars, being like the next bar after 23 candle in my case, UK time, remember. And that bar then closes bearish, but above prior bar's low, and yeah. So like ordinarily back in, well, no, fucking hell, I was about to say back in the day, which was literally like this morning, like I would have marked this up, and well, I'm not even gonna mark it, so it's good that my Gambox didn't pull. But like if you know you got an open above, I would then have looked to sell short this. Now, yeah, you would have been rewarded with a nice trade, but it's just not valid. You don't have an opposing bar close, and also this bar closes beneath the prior bar low, which is not valid, because remember, this is a valid criteria checklist. Let me send you setup after 18 candle, which in the futures case is 17. So I don't know if he was looking at futures here. I don't think he was actually. So yeah, but he refers to it in the CFD manner for some reason. He did also mention that his baby is CFDs, so that's probably why. But anyway, so I'll just refer to it in the future standpoint. So he's looking at the 17 candle. Remember, it's Chicago time, so that's this bar, which is for me is 23, and then he wants to see the next bar, which is the 21 candle open beneath 75% of this range from the open to the most extreme point traded, and then he wants to see either the 21 candle close green bullish beneath the 17 candles high, or the 2 a.m. The 1 a.m. candle close beneath the 17 candles range high, green bullish, like this. Also notice the sweep, also notice the fair value gap. This is an A-star setup. And yeah. If we just go on to continue. So like this, even if this opened above the 75%, it's not valid because this closed beneath this range low. So in a bull case, it's you need to see it close beneath the range high. This it closed like it's like you get the gist, right? I'm yapping. Okay, I don't know why I'm getting annoyed. Was that from skitting? Yeah, it's from skitting. Nice. Okay, so you know what? What I'm going to do is I'm just going to look for one more setup. Like, this is completely random. Of course, it's literally fucking 2 trades. It's meaningless, but it's still interesting, to be honest. Depending on the next trade's outcome, and it sounds a bit weird and dodgy. If it's not a win, then it's like But if it is a win, then I think it's a bit too much of a coincidence, to be honest. Like, seriously. But what I also love about this system is that, like, so far anyway, what I love about it is that, like, it really is minimal work. You know, like, okay, so here we can just switch because look, these emails are below, these emails are above, and then here you would want them to switch because you wouldn't want the 100 beneath the 200, so you'd be waiting till at least this day. Nothing formed. What I was saying is, alright, so this is actually a stereotype setup that I would have marked up, but now I wouldn't. But I've seen these quite a bit actually. Maybe with time I'll then come up with a name for these, but for now I'm not going to bother with them. I'm going to stick to the original criteria because I think it's important to do so. But if this candle closed opposing and this candle then closed beneath this 75% of this range, if it was opposing, and beneath in green bullish, and then beneath the high like this, then yeah, it's valid. But like that isn't the case, right? So but yeah, so what I like about this system is, you know, it's really easy to like employ, and also when you've got an intraday system too. So it is kind of like a swing system. Okay, so you're just waiting for an opposing candle, so none of these. You're waiting for an opposing candle, none of these. Okay, I think this is set up here. So this needs to be a bullish close. Yep. And then this candle then needs to open above 75% of this candle's range. It might not. Wow. I was just saying like, wow, this is a small body. I don't think it does. Okay, it does. Let me just double check so I can zoom in. Come on. Oh, wrong thing. Or maybe if I just do it. Okay, yeah. Right, so if you look, you pull it from the open to the most extreme point traded, you open above. Now, if you just go back, and oh, EMA is on stacking, so yeah, you wouldn't have executed this, so that's good. Because like you would come to the charts here, right, and then you would instantly see, like, literally what you can do is this, and then you can just look at the EMAs, right, like, you're not getting involved, but like that's and as well you can kind of see, like, yeah, it was quite a powerful move, but you know, it usually, when the criteria is there, it usually really runs, you know, and your stop on this case would probably have been somewhere around here, so you would have been fine probably, but like, yeah, so here you're waiting for the EMAs to start to be stacked, which, well, it's okay, yeah, that's not valid. Well, actually, hang on, if this, obviously it's not valid, but like, I'm just saying, in theory, well, there's no point in really looking too much into it because it's not the case. So, anyway, opposing candle, no, opposing candle. Okay, so, okay, well, you're above the EMAs here, so that's not valid. And like also like the thing is, right, I'm gonna pause like actually scanning. I'm just gonna talk for like 30 seconds. Like, I think that if you've got such an in-depth model like I do on GU and EU, where it's like, you know, you're doing a comprehensive deep dive into like literally deep dive into what sort of intent, discovering what sort of intent traders are having relative to 7-hour time intervals, like from 7 hours from now, like as of 7, no sorry, or 9 hour, as of 7 to the next like at least like 3/4 of that time period within this range surrounding 7, what sort of intent are likely to have at prices around that region, but then also building that from the like weekly, 4-day, 3-day, 2-day, discerning the loom, like that, which is like the region of what sort of intent is existing around like the most recent 3, 4, 2-day bar close. You know what I mean? So it requires a lot of mental capital, whereas this doesn't really. don't get us wrong though, it would be good to implement mental capital to this, because it would only make it better. But that's just how it works in training, right? So this is like an absolutely insane. Okay, so there could be a setup here. So you got an opposing candle. So this is like an absolute insane set of criteria to look for, which I've never ever came across ever. Okay, so see, it's not valid, but it does run, and also you can kind of see like the only thing you didn't get here was open above the 75. But like if you then added some sort of like, I don't know, it doesn't even look like you need it. And also I've kind of found that like you don't really even need it, because it like, you know, the EMAs do the job of like discerning what sort of intent exists around like this region that the market's sat at, and then this like pattern combined together with the EMAs, like it does all that for you. And also this like candle thing, indicator thing. So it's like, it's honestly really crazy. Like, but like, I'm just aware of like my past, of like finding something, getting like really hyped about it, like I am now, and then it just like happens to I happen to find out that it's absolutely shit. But like I honestly don't think this is the case here. Okay, so here you would be fine in my, honestly, you would probably want to open at the 75, but you possibly could take a stab at this. And it does also close beneath the previous bar low. It doesn't matter that it wicked below. As you can see here, like it just has to close. It's below the high of the 22, yeah, so it just has to close beneath, right? So yeah, that sucks, that, you know. Oh, and it's like, you know, I don't know, I'm not gonna mark it up, to be honest, but like, because I don't know, I mean, it opened above the 70, but like you've got a problem if it doesn't open above there, you know what I mean? So I probably wouldn't mark this up, to be honest, but as you can see, this was a right setup, because like, and I know I'm saying this like after the fact, but like it's like an after the fact type thing that you would find out whether it's the right setup or not, you know what I mean? Like a move such as this, following this, shows you like, yeah, that would have been fine, but obviously it's futile saying that, because like you wouldn't have known in advance, right? So here, opposing candle, do you open above 75% of this range? Let's have a look. I don't think you do, but then here's an instance where it's a bit unreasonable to look for that, but then if it's so self-evident that it's going to open, but yeah, so it doesn't even open the, so here you would be fine with seeing it open above the 35, which it doesn't. There's probably a good job that we're not looking for another 5 trades, because as you can see, you don't get that many, and we're probably not gonna okay, well that's not valid anyway. This wouldn't be valid if this was open above, because this is closed beneath bar low. So yeah, you can just skip all of this. This is above, so it doesn't even matter. Also, that's not an opposing bar in the bearish case. Not valid. Not valid. Not valid. Okay, so this could be valid. It is also helpful with having the Asia session a bit more pronounced. So we'll just go like this, and then we'll go like this. Is that a bit more better? Maybe we just go 7 and then go like this. Yeah, that's better. But I would probably say 6 would be okay. 5. Maybe he's white. Okay, so just my mum just got back, so yeah, bear with the background noise. So in this case, you do have an opposing candle. and it opens above 75% of this range. It also closes beneath, above previous bottle low. So our EMA is stacking. Yes. And anyway, this came at good timing because I'm now going to go for my tea because I am actually really hungry. And also, you can also see that there's a fair value gap here, so I'm going to mark that up. There's also one here. Quite like that red for the fair value gaps, and but like I like to have mine color coded. To be honest, so green has always been 4 hour for me. Orange has always been 1 hour. Blue has always been daily from Jason Casper days. Weekly has always been yellow. Purple has always been monthly. So yeah, this is definitely the right trade for sure because you definitely don't get candles like this. But I don't know, I would feel a bit iffy about this. Oh shit, actually, this isn't the 75. It's obviously going to open above the 35 bull, so it doesn't open above. So actually, this isn't valid. So I'm glad that I spotted that. I really want to have one more trade before going. Something didn't feel right about that anyway, so that's kind of good that criteria wasn't valid. Anyway, so EMA is on stacking. It's not opposing. Jeez, it is gasoline though. Like that's why I wanted to use this because it's such an obscure market. So here you wouldn't be getting involved. Nothing. Not opposing. Not opposing. Not opposing. Not opposing. Not close beneath this low. Right. I think I might. Okay, so I'm just gonna put a line here, and we can maybe carry this on the next point, on some other point. But as you can see, we started in April and we had one trade. I think, yeah, it was like one trade. And then yeah, it was this, and it was an absolute beauty. And even on gasoline, it went 3+ off, so that's insane. But still, I'm just gonna stick with 2. I'm more than happy with that, especially if it does hold up this sort of like, to be honest, if I'm trading multiple instruments, I would definitely just be risking 1%. That's way more than enough. Just for potential error making and blah 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 blah. Plus, I'm not also going to be trading gasoline because you can't on CFDs. But yeah. Anyway, don't really know what I'm going to call this video, but yeah.